Well, welcome back once again to the 365 Retirement Podcast with the team at Rubino and Lang Wealth Partners. Sam Lang, Ryan Marston, John Conley helping us out each week, answering those questions that you probably have as you get toward retirement. And as you wonder, who am I going to get to help me? Well, the team at Rubino and Lang Wealth Partners is right here. John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Randy. Appreciate you having us today. How are things with you?
Real good, real good. And we're going to take on one of the big topics today because, like they say in real estate, location, location, location. Well, in retirement, it is income, income, income. And this is a big question. How much do I need to retire? What do I need? And you hear, gosh, these big numbers, John. You need $1.8 million to retire. I just saw Susie Orman say, if you don't have $5 million, you're just not going to make it longer than 3 years. And sometimes I just roll my eyes at some of these stories. Not everybody who walks through your door has $1.8 million, do they, John?
We have varying degrees of clients, right? And every person is different. They all have individual circumstances that they're trying to meet. Different retirement dates, different income streams. Some have pensions, some don't have pensions, some have dual pensions. Husband and wife have pensions. So everyone is different. And like you said, you hear the big companies always talking about what is the big number? How much money do you need to save in order to retire? I kind of like to work things backwards. It's not so much how much do you have? It's how much do you need from that on a monthly or annual basis to meet your current living standards and to do the things that you've always dreamt about for your retirement years, whether it be joining a country club or going down to Florida for 4 months out of the year or take a couple of big vacations with the kids and grandkids. We want to know what is your, more or less, what's your goal in retirement? How do you envision retiring? How much is that going to cost? And then determine from there where we're going to get it from. And is it feasible?
It's an interesting process because it's almost like a budgeting process because when you get into your retirement years, maybe your mortgage is gone and maybe the money that you put away for savings every month, you may not have to do that anymore. There's certain things that you will not have to do, but then there's things that are going to come in there that you will. I mean, Medicare premiums and things like that are something you're not used to. That was always taken out of your check, so that's going to be an expense that you have to get used to. And like you say, I don't spend 4 months a year down in Florida right now because I'm working. I might in retirement. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics says the average American needs $6,000 a month to handle whatever they need to do. So is that a common figure when people walk in the door when you start working the numbers?
I would say there's no common number for our clients, okay? And the reason is some clients need $10,000 a month. Some might need $6,000, right? But their plan is really geared towards them and their individual circumstances. So let's say someone needs $10,000 a month to live their lifestyle. And let's just say the husband's collecting $2,000 a month from Social Security, the wife's collecting $2,000 a month from her Social Security. They may need $6,000 a month from their portfolio to meet that income gap, okay? So 72 grand a year is what they need from income. And now it comes down to how much money do we have saved to get you that 72? So let's say someone has $1 million saved for retirement. Well, they need 7.2% of their portfolio to meet their living expenses.
That's kind of hefty.
It's hefty, and that's pre-tax. So you have to earn more to net the 7.2. So that tells us how aggressive or how non-aggressive, where are you on the risk tolerance scheme of things? And sometimes you have to have uncomfortable conversations and say, hey, listen, you're kind of going to run things tight, or maybe you envision 6 months down in Florida, but it really should be 3 months. 3 months, we don't need 72,000. We might only need 60,000. So then it becomes like what your dream scenario is to what's reality and what would work for you, because it doesn't come down to how much money you have. The more you have doesn't make you better. Someone might have 500,000, but him and the wife and the husband both have pensions, and they only need $2,000 a month from their portfolio. That's an easier client to deal with than someone who needs their money to earn 10% consistently to generate the income that they need. So we have to make sure when we do planning that we budget these what we want to do in our retirement years into the plan. So if it's, hey, I want to join a country club, it's going to be 20 grand a year. That's part of our budget. That's part of our expenses.
And the spending in retirement, I heard somebody say this recently and kind of, resonated with me. It's kind of like a smile. It's like in the early years of your retirement, you're spending kind of a lot, and then you do everything you want to do. It kind of goes down a little bit, and then health things become an issue, and then the spending kind of goes back up again. And your financial plan kind of has to reflect that, and you kind of got to know what's coming in the future.
Exactly. And I think people kind of spend more in the early years of their retirement because I always say every day in retirement is Saturday. I work Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, I don't spend a whole lot of money. But come Saturday, it's like, hey, let's go get breakfast. Let's go for lunch. Where do you want to go for dinner? Let's call this one. Let's take the kids here. I'm leaking money on Saturday. So imagine when you're retired, every day is Saturday. So I think you spend more in the early years and less in the later years. But we project that you're going to spend the same amount throughout your retirement with an inflation increase of 3% spending each year.
That's a great point.
And that's key, especially now.
Yeah, because nothing gets less expensive over the years. I mean, your grocery bill, if you take a look back over the last 10 years, it's gone up. And the same thing's going to happen in retirement. And now something else that I wanted to ask you about, because this is kind of a budgetary thing. I remember a friend of mine whose father was like 95 years old. And throughout his retirement, he says, this is the last car I'm ever going to buy. And then 5 years later, this is the last car I'm ever going to buy. And he bought 3 last cars that he's ever going to buy. So, these things happen in retirement. You're going to have to buy cars. You're going to have to fix the roof. The water heater's going to go out. That stuff still happens, doesn't it?
Things happen. Like you're bringing up the car, and that's a very sore subject with me right now. So we have 3 kids in the house that are all driving.
Okay.
One of them was off at college as a freshman. So we bought her a car in high school. She goes off to college, car stays. The junior in high school is now driving it.
Okay.
Well, she's home from college, and you want to talk about a battle for the car. So now we're going to go buy a new car, not a new car, but a used car for the junior in high school. Mm-hmm. So I thought I was done buying cars for kids in the school because now she wants it down in college. So there's always an emergency. There's always something else that comes up. There's money shifts pockets. You might have money that you've earmarked for maybe 3 months down in Florida. Now it's you don't find the joy there as much because the kids aren't visiting. Now it's Medicare costs or so forth. The money shifts pockets for the most part. And we want to make sure that we allocate, we plan for it, we have an income stream designed to meet your living standards. But we also have reviews, annual reviews, to make sure that, hey, how has the spending been? Are we shifting gears? And we adjust the plan and update the plan to make sure that we get you and deliver the appropriate amount of money on an annual basis. We don't want to take too much either. If we're not spending it, why take it, pay taxes on it to have it just sit in the bank account and not earn a whole lot?
It is just when I think about, I'm in my early 60s and I can see retirement off there in the distance someplace. But the thought of trying to figure out, sitting down and saying, how much are you going to spend when you're 75? I don't know how to even begin that conversation. That's a tough one.
It's the vision, right? Like, how do you envision retirement? I always ask the husband and the wife, like, how do you envision retirement? The husband might say, I just want to golf a couple of days a week. I just want to make sure I don't ever run out of money, and I always have a stream of income coming in. The wife's vision might be, I want to make sure that we take the kids on 2 major vacations per year, or I want a house down in Florida that they can come and visit. But I want the house big enough that everyone can come and spend time there. So you kind of have to make sure you come up with a strategy that meets both their needs and making sure that they feel comfortable of where the income's coming from so that they can really retire with confidence and enjoy what they're doing, knowing that we have it all figured out. We have it planned, it's budgeted, it's in here, and we can absolutely do this with no concerns or no worries.
Well, when you get into your 60s, you're going to have some friends who are out there. They're retired, and you'll see how they're doing. But how they're doing it is probably very different how you're going to do it. The way your parents did it is probably very different how you're going to do it. Your needs and your wants and your desires in retirement are going to be different than anybody else's. It's going to take a plan that is unique to you. And that's what we do at Rubino and Lang Wealth Partners. You can give us a call or you can give us a look at our website. The 365 retirement plan is there for you. We'll set up a 15-minute introductory call and kind of talk through it. You can go to 365retirement.com. Make sure you like and subscribe. We've got much more great content coming to you about these retirement issues, and we hope you're here to tune in. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Ryan Marston and John Conley are investment advisor representatives of Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Investment financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Sam Lang is licensed in your state, please call 617-630-8787. Rubino and Lang Wealth Partners is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Rubino and Lang Insurance Agency, LLC, Massachusetts Insurance License number 1783398.